Hey guys, it's Corrine. Thanks so much for stopping by. Today I'm sharing something that is new to me. I am sharing sublimation. I have recently gotten into the sublimation and it is so much fun. So by no means am I an expert at this. I am learning along the way, but I thought I would show the process of how I've done a few projects, and maybe I can help somebody else that is just starting in it to learn a few tips and tricks. There's some great resources out there. There's some great Facebook groups that you can join that are very helpful. So we'll talk about a little bit more about that in a little bit. Here today, I wanted to share just a very simple project with you. So this is a design. I purchased the design pre-made from designbundles.net, and I'll show you that process. It's very simple. I choose to use my Silhouette Cameo to print from, to design from. You do not have to have a Cameo. I will have a video showing how the Cameo can be helpful, or your Cricut, any cutter that you want, you can translate it to use what you're used to using. But I'll show that in a later video on how you can use that to help with designing projects. So today I'm using a 100% polyester shirt. This is the Cricut brand, and I got this from Michael. Now, the higher the polyester count, the more vivid your design is going to be. You can use a blend of cotton and polyester, but depending on how much cotton is in it, it's going to be a little bit more faded. But there are other mediums that we can use that I will show in future videos, like Easy Subli and by Caesar, and some HTV that we can do to keep our designs vibrant, depending on, it doesn't matter what type of blend you're using, whether it's 100% cotton or a dark t-shirt. We'll go over those in a future video. But there are a few things that you're going to need for this, and I just kind of want to go over them. Also in future videos, I'm going to show how I did this set of coasters. These are super fun. I've also done coasters with actual photos on them for family members with their kids and grandkids. They turned out really great. So we'll do these in a future video as well. I've also done some luggage tags that turned out really super cute. I'm just kind of cover up the address here, but these turned out really super cute. So we can show those in a future video as well. And also I've done some Santa bags, again, using designs, but then changing them up to fit what we need, adding a name to it. These turned out really cute as well. So we will go over all of these different projects on my channel. So I hope if you've not subscribed, I hope you'll consider subscribing and liking the video, leaving a comment below. And if you have any questions, please leave them down in the comment section. If I can help, I will. Like I said, I'm not an expert at this, but I've learned a lot along the way. I've been practicing a lot. I've been making a lot of projects, and it is so much fun. So a few things that you need to get started is some sort of heat press. You can use the Easy Press. It has to go up to 400 degrees. So the first Easy Press is not going to work. So you're going to need some sort of heat press that will go up to 400 degrees. You're going to need a printer with sublimation ink in it. I'm using Hippo ink, which I purchased off Amazon, and I've been really happy with that. The printer I have is the Epson Eco Tank. I got it from Walmart. It is the 2803. And again, you just have to use a specific ink. You cannot use inkjet. You cannot use pigment ink. You cannot use toner. You have to use sublimation ink. So I will try to link to the ink that I use down in the description box. But if you search sublimation ink, there's lots of companies that sell it. You also need sublimation paper to print on. I'm using the A-Sub 125. Again, I got this off of Amazon. They have different sizes of this, 11 by 14. They have different sizes. So, but the 8.5 by 11 will cover most of your designs. And this is the largest as far as the width that my printer can take. You will need a lint roller, some butcher paper. You can also use parchment paper. I got this butcher paper from Amazon. You need heat resistant tape. Again, Amazon. You can use this without a tape dispenser, but I highly recommend a tape dispenser. You can cut it each piece that you need, but it's kind of a pain in the butt. So a cheap tape dispenser works perfectly. And then you will also need Teflon sheets. I'm going to show you how just a very simple design today, simple to do. We can work on designing stuff in another video, but let's just start out super simple, and I'll walk you through the entire process of how I made this cute little shirt. So let me take you over to my computer and I'll show you how we got started on printing this out. So as I mentioned, I'm using a Cricut shirt. I got this from Michael's craft store, and this one is 100% polyester. I very first like to measure out my shirt, just kind of gauge the size of what I want my design to be before I actually start. So I just pull out my ruler and decide where I want to keep the design to. So I'm just measuring that out, and then I'll put that into my design software so I have an idea of sizing. Okay, so today for the project we're doing today, I purchased a PNG file from designbundles.net. There's tons of places that you can just purchase designs that are already made, or you can design your own, which we will do in a later video. We can also use designs that you purchase that you can change up and customize them for whatever you want. But for this design, we're going to start out simple, and I went to designbundles.net. Also, I do want to mention quickly, there are lots of Facebook pages, groups that you can join that are very helpful, and it's a great resource to go on and learn tips and tricks about sublimation. This is just one of them that I really think is a great, helpful community. So I went to designbundles.net. You can kind of scroll through and see what they have. Let me just go. I won't go through the entire purchasing process since I've already done that, but here's the design that we're going to use today. So once you purchase that, that will go into your downloads folder. You can drag and drop it right into your Silhouette program. There are lots of programs that you can use. If you don't have a Silhouette, you can still use Silhouette. They have a free design program. You don't have to have the Silhouette Cameo to cut it out if you just want to design in Silhouette. Just for reference, I'm using the business edition in Silhouette, but you can use any other program that you like to design in. You can simply print this out as well. You don't have to design anything when you purchase a design that's already been made. So this popped up in my downloads folder. I can just simply drag that into my program. And what I like to do is measure out my shirt, and from the left over here, I like to grab a rectangle and draw out a rectangle with the approximate size of the shirt that I'm using, the size that I want to keep the design in. So I think for this youth shirt, I did a 5x5 by 4 inches tall. So I pre-measured my shirt and decided I want to keep my design within that size. So you simply select your design, grab one of the ends and drag it down. If you have a specific size in mind, you can go up here for the width and height and change it yourself. So that looks good to me. That's kind of within that rectangle. Now you do need to mirror this. So you can mirror it in your printer before you print it, have your printer mirror it, or you can flip the design here. Go ahead and open up the replicate panel, and right here where it shows mirror, you can select that, and that's going to mirror it to the right, to the left, however, whichever one that you choose. So select your design, click mirror. We can move this one out of the way, and here we can select to have this one print. So now you want to go up to your print panel here, select print, and select your printer. I already, in my preferences, I have a profile set up for specifically the paper I'm using, and all the quality and the options that I want. And generally I have it print it in mirror image for me. So if I did not have to flip this, by printing it and selecting this mirror image, it would mirror image it when you print it out. So I'm going to choose this one here because I do not have it mirrored, being that I already flipped it in the design. So I'm going to select OK and hit print. So now that that's printing, I'm going to turn on and heat up my heat press. I'm using an HTV Ront auto press, and I'm turning it to 400 degrees for 60 seconds. I am going to pre-press and lint roll my shirt. I like to place a piece of Teflon on the bottom. I'm just always doing something to try and protect my heat press. So I'm just laying that out. I'm going to do a good job lint rolling it. This is something you definitely want to do. You want to make sure it's free of any fibers. Then once I have that done, I'm going to fold the shirt in half to give myself a center crease, which will help me line up my design. And by pressing it down for, I think I do 10 seconds, that just gets any of the moisture out. It helps to prepare your shirt for the sublimation. So I'm waiting for that to get up to temp. In the meantime, I'm going to tear around my design. I saw this hack and I think it works very well. It helps to avoid any hard edges around the design. But I have all that at the bottom, so I'm going to cut that off and save that. I like to save my scraps, any scraps that are larger than 4x6, because if I'm testing something out, I can use that for a test piece. So I'll continue, to tear around the design, trying to be careful not to tear the design. And I'm going to fold this in half. It's actually easier if you fold it in half before you tear it because it's in the center of my page. So if you just line up the edges of the page, you can get the crease perfectly. But this design was super easy, so I didn't have to worry about it. So again, I put butcher's paper over the top just to protect the shirt. I pressed it for 10 seconds. Now I'm putting a clean piece of butcher's paper on the bottom, and I'm just laying my shirt out flat. You can see that there's that crease right down the center. So like I said, I'm just kind of giving myself a fold there. That's going to help me to line it up. Looking back, I think I could have went a little bit larger on the design, but I think it looks cute on this little shirt. So I'm placing down the heat resistant tape. I'm trying to make sure that this does not move. I tend to use a lot of tape just because I don't want that ghosting effect, which I have seen. Again, placing a clean piece of butcher paper. I don't believe it shows on camera, but I put butcher paper inside the shirt as well, just so the ink cannot run to the back side of the shirt because the polyester shirts are fairly thin. So now I'm going to press that for 60 seconds. This heat press takes about 4 minutes, 4 to 5 minutes to get to temp, usually. Once you've used this butcher paper, whether you can see it on camera or not, there's ink on it, so you never want to reuse the piece of butcher paper. Just throw that away. So I'm letting it cool and I peel it back, and that's all that butcher paper is trash. This shirt turned out super cute. It's super easy to do and it's very soft. I love the sublimation process. You can also kind of stretch the shirt lightly and repress it just to make sure the design is really in the shirt. I don't show that here on camera, but I tend to do that as well. So like I said, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I will try my best to answer. And I have another video coming out shortly where we do a little bit more, design a little bit more than just a pre-made design. So I hope you'll consider subscribing, and thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.